Hello, I'm Reggie York. I'm a professor at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. And this is a presentation on describing the intervention in evaluative research. First, let's talk about what this presentation is about. It's about reviewing why a good description of the intervention is useful. Also, reviewing the major things we need to report in that description. The things to include are the goals and objectives, the structure of the intervention, the model of the intervention, and the personnel of it. Those are the four major things we're going to talk about that should be included in a comprehensive description of an intervention in human service evaluation. You're going to be evaluating this intervention in some way, so first you need to be able to describe it very carefully so that those who read your report will know just what kind of intervention was being tested. Why describe these things? We need to know what it was that was or was not effective from our evaluation study of evidence. Others may want to replicate this service for their own clients. If your service is effective, you want them to know precisely what you did so they will have some guidance on some things they may want to do themselves. Let's talk now about goals and objectives. First, the goal of the intervention is the long-term benefit that is being sought, like preventing crime, or child abuse, or achieving employment, or preventing students from dropping out of school. All these are long-term benefits. They're not about service, they're about the benefit to the client. The outcome objective, however, is a measured amount of progress toward goal achievement, and something that you will measure, like improving self-esteem, or improving knowledge, or good parenting practices. So the objective is a measured amount of progress toward the goal. The goal is the longer-term benefit being sought. The objective is a measured amount of progress, and you will measure progress regarding the objective. This is what you want to focus upon when it comes to measurement in your evaluation study. Goals and objectives focus on benefit, not process. When we identify either the goal of service or the objective, we should focus on client benefit, not the service to be offered or the process by which the client will be served. Those are important things, but they're not in the goal or objective statement in an evaluation study. Let's test you out a little bit here. Which of the following is the better statement of the objective? Pair one. What's better as the objective there? Well, I would say improving study habits is a measured amount of progress toward preventing school dropouts. You improve study habits because you think it will lead to preventing school dropouts. So A would be the objective, B would be a better statement of the goal. How about this one? To achieve employment or to improve job-seeking skills? Which one? Well, I hope you noticed that achieving employment was the better goal, not objective, whereas B was the better statement of the objective. It's a measured amount of progress, perhaps, toward the goal of achieving employment. How about this one? Well, I hope you noticed that B was a good statement of the objective, a measured amount of progress toward the goal of achieving self-sufficiency for immigrants. Are these good statements of either goals or objectives? To provide strengths-based services to youth at risk for dropping out of school. Is this a good statement of a goal or an objective? I would say no, because it is process-oriented. It's about what you're going to do, not what you're going to achieve. How about this? To ensure that the rape crisis protocol is administered to all clients who enter the emergency department of the hospital as a victim of rape. What do you think? Is that a good statement of the objective or the goal? Or is it a process-oriented statement? Well, I'd say it's a process-oriented statement. It says what you're going to do, not what you're going to achieve. Let's talk now about service structure. The structure of the service reveals what it looks like when it is offered. It can be described both in regard to form and intensity. The structure of case management service might be stated like this. It includes case manager interviews client at least once monthly to offer supportive counseling and case planning. A service plan is established. Referrals are made to services. Service plan is monitored for progress, and decisions made to terminate service. These may be the kinds of things included in the structure of a case management service. So when you describe case management, you might use this as a description. Of course, your own case management service may entail other kinds of things than this, but this is just an illustration of portraying the structure of a particular service. Here's another example. Psychotherapy entails weekly sessions between the therapist and the client for 1 hour each over a period of 5 to 10 weeks. Now, if it's exactly 5 weeks, you'd put that, or if it's exactly 10 weeks, you put that, but I put in here over a period of 5 to 10 weeks because that's more typical, that you don't know at the beginning, or for every particular client, you don't know how many sessions are likely to happen, so you might want to put in that. But you can see from this description that we're talking about weekly sessions. The sessions are 1 hour each, and that describes psychotherapy service. After school tutoring entails daily 1 hour sessions where a tutor works one-on-one with a client to review schoolwork over a period of 6 weeks. Another example of a structure of an intervention. The model of the intervention is a little more tricky, a little more challenging. The model of the service provides the conceptual framework that guides the service. It's not nearly as concrete as describing the structure of the service. One example is the strengths perspective, which might be the framework that guides the service. Another example is an educational model that is based on the assumption that a key cause of the behavior is lack of knowledge. If you're discussing things with parents, for example, where you believe that the main reason they're not better parents is they lack knowledge, then it may be that knowledge is the thing you will target and you will do some kind of training. That would suggest that you're using an educational model which makes an assumption that a key cause of the behavior is lack of knowledge. Another way may be the systems perspective that suggests that an array of factors contribute to the target behavior. Therefore, the service must be multidimensional in nature to address various aspects of the system. All of these are examples of describing the model of the intervention, which provides the sort of framework that guides it. Let's talk a little bit about what the model does. The model illuminates the assumptions that underlie the rationale for the service to be offered. The personnel of the intervention is the third thing we're talking about, the next thing we're talking about. So here is about what kinds of people will offer the service. We're not talking, of course, about the specific names of the individuals, but what kinds of credentials do they have? Are we talking about a licensed clinical psychologist who's delivering the service? Are we talking about a specially trained school social worker who has a social work degree, or what? Let's summarize. We have noted that the description of the intervention is essential for understanding of what works or doesn't. We have noted what should be included in the description, such as goals, objectives, structure, model, and personnel. We have reviewed how to present the above in a sound way. So let's do a little bit of review while we're at it here. True, false. The main function of service description is to help others to replicate your service in a different place. What do you think? I'd say true. Suppose that one of the assumptions of your parent skills program is that one cause of poor parenting is lack of knowledge of good parenting techniques. What part of the service description does this fit into? Goals, objectives, structure, model, or personnel? You might want to hit the pause button at the bottom of the screen here and look at this for a moment and think about it. Then come back to me and I'll discuss it. Okay, I would say this describes the model of the intervention. Provides the conceptual framework, it provides something of a rationale for what it is you're doing and why. How about this one? True, false. It would be better to state the goal of the dropout prevention program as preventing dropouts and the objective as improving grades than to do it vice versa. In other words, the goal, preventing dropouts, objective, improving grades. What do you think? If you want to, hit the pause button and think about it, then come back to me. I would say this is true. Preventing dropouts should be the goal, and a measured amount of progress toward that might be improving grades. So the objective then would be better stated as improving grades. Okay, that's my review of describing the intervention. I hope this helps.